The fallen star. The sky burned crimson above Theris as the escape pod tore through the atmosphere. Dr. Chen watched from his modest homestead, nestled among the twisted blue trees of the valley. Something about the trajectory seemed wrong, too steep. Too fast the craft wasn't landing. It was falling. "That's going to be messy," he muttered, grabbing his medical kit from beside the door. Old habits died hard 5 years since he'd left the Terran Medical Corps, but he still packed a trauma kit that would make a battlefield medic proud. The impact shook the ground beneath his feet, sending flocks of native avians screeching into the twilight. Dr. Chen followed the plume of smoke rising beyond the eastern ridge. His breathing labored as he climbed, the craggy path illuminated only by Theris's 3 moons. What he found at the crash site stopped him cold. The twisted metal of an unmarked military-grade pod split open like a cracked egg, and inside sprawled a figure he recognized all too well. The characteristic purple skin, the sleek utilitarian bodysuit, a Nexus operative, engineered warrior of the Stellar Dominion, most feared soldiers in the known galaxy. He should call it in. He should back away slowly. He should do anything, except what he was actually doing, kneeling beside her, checking for vital signs. Her pulse was erratic but present. Blood the same deep violet as her skin leaked from a gash across her abdomen. Her face, relaxed in unconsciousness, looked surprisingly peaceful, almost innocent. Not at all like the cold-eyed killers he'd seen on the battlefield. "Just my luck," he whispered. "The most dangerous being in the quadrant, and I'm checking her carotid instead of running for my life." Years of medical training overrode his fear. He applied pressure to the wound and administered a universal coagulant from his kit. When her eyelids fluttered momentarily, he caught a glimpse of striking silver irises before they closed again. "Don't worry," he found himself saying. "I've got you." Why was he helping her? Every logical part of his mind screamed to leave her. He'd seen what Nexus operatives could do, witnessed their telekinetic abilities tear through Terran defenses like paper. The memory of his medical unit after a Nexus attack still haunted his dreams. Yet something in her face called to him, something human beneath the engineered exterior. With considerable effort, he managed to load her onto his emergency hover stretcher. The journey back to his homestead was slow and precarious. Once inside, he worked methodically, cleaning the wound, applying regenerative gel, sealing the laceration as dawn broke across the horizon. He finally allowed himself to rest, sitting beside the biobed he'd installed years ago when he still believed he might practice medicine again. The Nexus operative remained unconscious, her breathing now steady, on impulse. He reached out, brushing aside a strand of midnight blue hair from her face, revealing a neural inhibitor port at the base of her skull, the device that kept beings like her controlled, emotionless, perfect weapons. "I wonder who you might have been," he whispered, "without this thing telling you what to feel." She stirred slightly in response, and Dr. Chen made a decision that would change everything. He opened his surgical kit and began the delicate procedure to disconnect the neural inhibitor. "My name is Chen," he told the unconscious figure, "and I think I just made the biggest mistake of my life." Breaking protocol. Aya opened her eyes to unfamiliar surroundings. Light filtered through amber-tinted windows, casting warm patterns across rough-hewn walls. Her first instinct was to assess threat levels, calculate escape routes, identify weapons, but something was wrong. Her thoughts felt scattered, unfocused, and then it hit her, a sensation so foreign she couldn't immediately identify it. Fear, raw, unchecked emotion flooding through her system. "You're awake," a calm voice said. She turned to see a human male watching her from across the room. Medium build, early 40s, with tired eyes and 3 days of stubble. His posture was relaxed but wary. "Where am I?" she demanded, attempting to rise only to feel a sharp pain in her abdomen. "My home planet Theris, outer territories," he replied. "I'm Dr. Chen. I found you after your crash. You should have left me." The words came automatically. Protocol response 37B. He smiled slightly. "Yes, probably." Aya reached instinctively for the neural, poured at her base of her skull, and found smooth skin where the inhibitor should be. Panic, a new and terrible feeling, surged through her. "What did you do?" she whispered. I removed your neural inhibitor. He said simply, it was damaged in the crash. Leaving it in would have caused cerebral hemorrhaging. Lies her training whispered. He chose this. She could see it in his eyes. You've made me defective, she said, her voice shaking with an emotion she couldn't name. They'll decommission me when they find me. Dr. Chen approached slowly, setting a cup of steaming liquid on the table beside her. Then perhaps we shouldn't let them find you. Days passed in a blur of sensation. Aya experienced everything, as if for the first time. Sunlight against her skin brought pleasure. The taste of real food, not nutritional supplements, provoked wonder. The sound of Dr. Chen's voice telling stories of his past stirred curiosity. Each night brought dreams, vivid, chaotic fragments of memories she shouldn't possess. A woman's voice singing a child's laughter. Her own face reflected in water without the characteristic purple pigmentation of a Nexus operative. These can't be my memories, she told Dr. Chen one evening as they sat on his porch watching the triple moonrise. Nexus operatives are grown in Genesis chambers. We don't have childhoods. He considered this carefully. Perhaps they're not memories in the traditional sense, maybe impressions gathered from subjects you've encountered. Emotional. Resonance. We're not supposed to have emotions, she replied. And yet here you are, he said gently, feeling. Across the galaxy. Commander Rena slammed her fist against the holographic display. What do you mean we've lost her? Nexus operatives don't just disappear. The transponder went offline during atmospheric entry, ma'am. The nervous lieutenant explained. Last coordinates indicate crash landing on Theris. Theris, she repeated thoughtfully. That backwater has strategic value to absolutely no one. Why would she go there? Unknown, ma'am. Rena's eyes narrowed. Compile a list of all known inhabitants. I want to know if anyone there has the expertise to handle Nexus technology. Yes, ma'am. As the lieutenant hurried away, Rena studied the planet's image rotating slowly on the display. What are you up to, Aya? She murmured. And who's helping you? Back on Theris, Aya stood in Dr. Chen's small bathroom staring at her reflection, the purple skin marking her as non-human, the silver eyes designed for enhanced night vision. The perfect symmetrical features engineered for optimal psychological impact during interrogations. I don't know who I am anymore, she admitted when Dr. Chen found her there. Without the inhibitor, without orders, without purpose, what am I? That, he said, meeting her gaze in the mirror, is entirely up to you. For the first time since waking on this strange planet, Aya smiled. Growing pains music was forbidden, Aya said as Dr. Chen adjusted the settings on an ancient audio player. The Dominion believed it affected neural pathways, reduced combat efficiency. They weren't wrong, he replied, selecting a track. That's exactly what it does, the melody. Filled the small room, slow haunting notes that seemed to bypass her conscious mind and speak directly to something. Buried deep within her, Aya closed her eyes, allowing the unfamiliar sensations to wash over her. Without realizing it, she swayed, slightly in rhythm with the music your body remembers. Dr. Chen observed quietly. Even if your mind doesn't, how is that possible? He shrugged. Some things go deeper than conscious memory. Some things they can't erase no matter how hard they try. Later, as Aya helped him tend the small garden behind the homestead, she asked, Why did you leave the medical corps? Your credentials are impressive. A shadow crossed his face. The war changed me. I joined to save lives but found myself patching soldiers up. Just so they could return to the front lines, I became part of the machine. You had orders, she said, the words feeling hollow. Even as she spoke them orders, he repeated bitterly, I watched a Nexus operative cut through my medical unit on Vega Prime 19. People I couldn't save, I hated you then, all of you. Aya felt a sharp pang in her chest. Yet you saved me, why? Dr. Chen worked silently for several moments before answering. Because hate is easier when the enemy remains faceless. When I found you, I saw a person, not a weapon. That night the dreams came again, more vivid than before. Aya found herself in a laboratory surrounded by white-coated figures. A woman's voice, urgent, frightened. She's just a child, you can't take her. She awoke gasping, Dr. Chen at her side, concern etched across his features. Tell me, he urged, I think. She whispered. I wasn't always this, I think I was taken. Made into this. His expression darkened. The early Nexus program. There were rumors they took children with nascent psionic abilities, rewrote their genetic structure. Is that possible? Ethically? No, scientifically. Unfortunately, yes, I have felt something hot and wet on her. Cheeks tears. Another new experience, Dr. Chen. Reached out tentatively, wiped them away. His touch surprisingly gentle. If what you're remembering is true, he said, then everything they told you about what you are is a lie. Days turned into weeks. Aya discovered simple pleasures. Reading books from Dr. Chen's collection, feeling rain against her skin, watching sunsets, cooking meals together. During the day they worked side by side, tending the garden, repairing equipment, speaking of philosophy, music, literature. At night, they sat beneath the stars, Dr. Chen teaching her constellations, sharing stories of his travels. One evening as they finished dinner, Aya noticed him watching her with an intensity that sent an unfamiliar warmth spreading through her. What? She asked. You laughed today, he said, while chasing that escaped lizard hen. A real laugh, not the polite kind, the genuine kind. Is that significant? His smile reached his eyes, crinkling the corners immensely. The moment was interrupted by an alert from his security system. A distant ship entering atmosphere. Could be nothing, he said, but his expression betrayed his concern. Trade ships come through occasionally, but Aya felt a familiar chill settle over her. No, it's them. They found me. Dr. Chen moved quickly, gathering essential supplies. There's a cave system in the northern ridge complex enough to mask biosignatures. If we leave now, they'll find us eventually, she interrupted. You should let me go surrender myself. He stopped packing to look at her. After everything we've discovered about your past, they'll erase you, Aya, everything you've become. And if they find you harboring me, a Nexus operative, the penalty is death. Then we'd better not get caught, he replied. Grimly under cover of darkness, they fled the homestead. As they crested the ridge, Aya looked back at the small home that had witnessed her rebirth. Fear gripped her, but alongside it something stronger, something worth fighting for. Hunters and prey. Cooper adjusted his targeting visor, scanning the abandoned homestead. Someone left in a hurry, he observed. Heading north based on these tracks. Confirm targets. Commander Rena's voice crackled through his comm. One Nexus operative. Designation Aya, and a male human mid-40s, matches records for Dr. Thomas Chen, former Terran Medical Corps. A moment of silence followed. Interesting, I wouldn't have expected Chen to harbor a Dominion asset given his history. Orders, ma'am? Capture if possible, Rena replied. The operative is valuable. The doctor is expendable, but I want to know why he helped her. Cooper signaled his team, 4 elite operatives trained specifically to counter Nexus abilities. Move out Delta formation. Keep psi dampeners active. In the northern caves, Aya sensed their approach. 5 of them, she whispered. Special forces, psi dampeners. Dr. Chen nodded, loading his ancient sidearm. These caves connect to an underground river system. If we can reach it, there's a settlement 2 days' journey downstream. People who owe me favors. They moved deeper into the labyrinth, Aya's enhanced vision guiding them through absolute darkness. The dampeners affected her slightly, dulling her senses, but years of training allowed her to compensate. As they crossed a vast underground chamber, Cooper's team attacked. Energy bolts sizzled past them. Dr. Chen returned fire, creating cover for Aya. She moved with fluid grace, disabling 2 soldiers without killing them. She's not fighting at full capacity, Cooper reported. Neural inhibitor removed. Only Cooper remained, positioning himself between them and the passage to the river. Stand down, Aya, he called. Command wants you intact, but that can change. I'm not what they made me, she replied. Cooper's laugh was bitter. Pretty words, but we both know what you are. Dr. Chen emerged from cover, hands raised. She was a child taken, experimented on. Her entire existence has been a lie. Cooper hesitated, then fired. Aya lunged, shielding Dr. Chen. The energy bolt grazed her shoulder. As Dr. Chen caught her, they fell together behind a formation. If we don't make it, Dr. Chen whispered, I need you to know finding you was the best thing that's happened to me in years. Aya traced the outline of his jaw. I was never alive until you found me. Their lips met briefly, tenderly, a moment of connection amid chaos. Rebirth through fire. Commander Rena arrived with reinforcements cornering Aya and Dr. Chen near the underground river. Hello, Aya. Rena said, your neural inhibitor is missing, explaining your erratic behavior, your defection, your attachments. Not defection, Aya replied. Liberation. I remember being taken. The experiments I remember, my name before it was Aya. There will be no rehabilitation. Dr. Chen stepped forward. She's a sentient being, not property, not a weapon. You took children, he accused, rewrote their genetic structure, erased their identities. A necessary evil, Rena replied, drawing her sidearm. Aya, you will return with us, Dr. Chen. You are sentenced to execution for treason. No. Aya's voice echoed with power. I won't let you hurt him. Rena fired. Dr. Chen pushed Aya aside, taking the bolt meant for her. Thomas! Aya screamed, catching him as he fell. Something broke inside Aya. Grief, rage, despair, love. All the emotions once denied her, creating something new, something powerful. She rose, facing Rena and the soldiers, her silver eyes glowing. You made me a weapon, she said, her voice calm despite the tears. But he made me human. The power surged outward, disarming them all. But she didn't attack, didn't kill. Instead, she created a barrier between them as she knelt beside Dr. Chen. Cooper approached, weaponless. Let us help, he said. He's dying. Why would you help? Aya asked suspiciously. Because he's right. Cooper replied, about all of it. We've been following orders too long. They worked quickly, stabilizing Dr. Chen. He needs a medical facility. Cooper said, our transport has a med bay. Dr. Chen stirred, reaching for Aya's hand. Not gave found. He whispered, it was always there. 3 months later, Dr. Chen and Aya stood on the observation deck of Research Station Theris Prime, watching the planet below. Beautiful view, Aya said, her purple skin luminescent in the starlight. Almost as beautiful as the scientist who got me this research position, he replied, smiling. The committee was impressed with your proposal, ethical applications of genetic modification, rehabilitation for former operatives. He encircled her waist, the first Nexus operative to reclaim her humanity. Sometimes I still feel the weapon inside me, she admitted. We all have darkness, he said, tracing her jaw. What matters is the choices we make. Their lips met tenderly, the kiss deepening with promise. When they finally parted, Aya whispered, they called me a weapon. Dr. Chen smiled, completing their ritual, but I saw a soul worth saving. Beyond, the viewport stars gleamed, each one a possibility, a potential future, a choice waiting to be made.